surprise for lone white quarterback who didn't kneel for Anthem. Over the past week, protests within the NFL have metastasized into something racist and vile. No longer are some black players happy to just quietly kneel or sit while the anthem plays, as we're now seeing black players rendering black power salutes after they sack white players, an act that Seahawks player Michael Bennett started last week. But just when we thought things couldn't get any worse, we're learning about the sickening thing that happened to a white quarterback during the Raiders-Redskins game several days ago, that's causing a great amount of concern among football fans and could blow up into a massive scandal for the NFL. The Oakland Raiders is the only NFL lineup made up entirely of black players, except for their quarterback Derek Carr, who is white. Carr decided to stand proud and tall for the national anthem before the game, but his entire defensive line, that protects him on the field from being hit, decided to sit out for the national anthem. Armstrong and Getty noted on their sports radio program that the star quarterback was not sacked a single time last season, as his defensive line was always there to shield him from getting hit. But curiously, in the game immediately following the anthem protest by the black players, the white quarterback would suddenly find himself without any sort of protection by the players, who were supposed to quite literally have his back. So Derek Carr, who is never sacked, was sacked 4 times by the Redskins, back-to-back on the second offensive series of the Raiders, the host said. The first series he threw almost immediately was intercepted, so that series was over before it began, they said. Also, 3 times, the extremely dependable, never does this center, the guy who snaps the ball to the quarterback, snapped it before Carr was ready, 3 times. He hiked it, as the kids say, into Carr's knees before he was supposed to. To put it into non-football jargon, the assumption here is that the Oakland Raiders purposefully threw the game against the Redskins as a racist and anti-white demonstration against Carr. And the defensive line didn't do their job to protect the white quarterback from being hit, as a punishment for his choice to stand for the national anthem. What lends credence to this theory is the sickening thing one of the Raiders allegedly told his fellow players said before the game began, where he stated, if he, Carr, wants to stand alone for the national anthem, he can stand alone on the field. So it looks like the black players quite literally made the lone white player stand alone, as punishment for standing for the national anthem. Here's a transcript from the sports broadcast that was posted on Thursday, and it's extremely disturbing via the Federalist Papers. If this story is true, you've got an animosity between a white quarterback and a black offensive line that you can't fix very easily, they said. Now this is getting into paranoia, and the fan base and the whole country. They wondered if this was a one-time throwing of the game. So is this a one-time punishment? Have they gotten together and talked to each other? Or are the black guys in the team not going to block for the white guys? At least for one game, it seems to be a message that was sent, the other host said. Maybe it was brief, maybe it was alright, we're going to let him get hit a couple times, see if he gets the message, but we don't know. There were a handful of dropped passes by some of the black players that were really weird, they went on to say. That happens in the NFL all the time, but then the other stuff came up, they said. The hosts then said their inside source, who is extremely reliable, claims the game was in fact thrown, which could go on to be a disastrous scandal for the NFL. They have a huge danger warning buzzer going off right now, because if this happens on the Raiders, it could happen on any team as different decisions are made, as times are divided. When a reporter asked a team official about this, the hosts said they would be blackballed. This act of racism is not only hateful, it could have caused severe injury to the quarterback, as he could have gotten easily been inured without the protection of his so-called teammates. Later in the broadcast, TV host Bill O'Reilly pointed out that it's illegal to throw a game and the players could go to prison for what they've done. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.